Peace and blessings, amazing fans, sports fans, New York football Giants fans, football fans all around the world. It's me, Coach Ed, and this is Coach Ed's Amazing World of Sports. Just doing a little take on today's Giants wild card win today against the Minnesota Vikings. The Giants came away with the win, 31-24. It definitely was an offensive game more so than anything for the New York Giants against the Minnesota Vikings. In the end, the Giants are the ones that came away with the win, 31-24. I mean, the Giants scored in all four quarters, so there wasn't a quarter that they, didn't put up points, even if it was 3 points. They outgained Minnesota. Minnesota's prolific, high-powered offense. Uh, Basically outgained them by 100 yards, 431 yards of total offense to 332 yards of total offense. Passing, 289 yards to 271 yards. Rushing, 142 yards of rushing it for the Giants, 61 yards for the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, it was an exciting game, like I said. No turnovers by either team. Third down efficiency, the Giants were at 53%, while Minnesota was at 40%. Giants owned the time of possession, 33 and a half minutes to 26 and a half minutes for Minnesota. So it was definitely a game where the offense today carried the day, while the defense did make certain plays at certain times. Offensively, Daniel Jones ended up 24 for 35, 301 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He also led the team in rushing, 17 carries for 78 yards. Barkley was 9 carries for 53 yards and 2 touchdowns. Matt Breida had 3 carries for 8 yards. Receiving, Isaiah Hodgins, 8 receptions, 105 yards, 1 touchdown. Darius Slayton, 4 receptions, 88 yards. Saquon Barkley, 5 for 56. The other touchdown was scored through reception by Daniel Bellinger. So they definitely did what they needed to do in terms of the offense. The critical plays were made. One of the biggest was made to basically stop Minnesota on fourth down to pretty much end the game for the Giants, was made by Xavier McKinney. Minnesota tried a fourth and 8, and they did a quick 3-yard pattern, and McKinney was right there to stop the Minnesota tight end. If we look at the stats for Minnesota, Kirk Cousins was 31 for 39, 273 yards, 2 touchdowns. Nick Mullins was 1 for 1 for 10 yards. And Justin Jefferson was 1 for 1 for -2 yards. Dalvin Cook led the rushing attack at 15 carries for 60 yards. Cousins was 1 for 1 with a touchdown run. T.J. Hockenson led their offense, 10 receptions, 129 yards, while Adam Thielen was 3 for 50. And Justin Jefferson was 7 receptions for 47 yards. Now, that's the other thing that the defense did. Defensively, they pretty much, last time Jefferson really torched the Giants' defense. This time they pretty much shut them down. According to Next Gen Stats, the Giants' defense played split zone coverage a season high 65% of the time, which helped Adoree Jackson with over-the-top help. Because initially to start the game, they were nickel and diming, hitting short patterns right in front of Adoree. And once the defense made the adjustment, giving him over-the-top help with the safety, that pretty much took Jefferson out of the way. It did leave the tight end Hockenson to basically torch the defense, but he didn't score any touchdowns. And, while he did make some plays, he didn't make any critical plays that would be very detrimental to the offense. So it was a good, sound defensive game plan, a little bit different than what we're used to. They did blitz on occasion, but not as much as they normally do. They played more coverage. There were, certain holes in the zone but they, force Cousins to play it slow and not go over the top. So, that played into the offense. I'm sorry, the Giants defense, in a sense, controlling the game to a certain extent by not letting Minnesota take over the game. Again, it was a very, very, as a fan, yeah, you're excited to see, the movement. As an old school, did I want to see a little bit more defense? Yes. But, you know, um, the ultimate goal is for the Giants to win, and that's exactly what they did. Like I said, teams can sit and question and, say the team doesn't have talent and you know, they don't have receivers and question Daniel Jones. But Daniel Jones played like a franchise quarterback today. He had total command of the whole franchise. And I'm not just talking about the offense, I'm talking about the whole team. That he was an inspiration to the defense, even to the coaching staff. The coaches were very creative with their plays. There was even a Statue of Liberty play, which just shows that they're getting a little bit more creative. Yeah, they did a little wide receiver reverse to Darius Slayton, little things like that. Little creative plays that you didn't see normally during the regular season. So that's also sending a message to the rest of the teams in the playoffs. The Giants are not going to be the same type of Giants that you played all season. This is a different team. Now, the New York Giants are preparing for one of their biggest challenges this week. It's their division rival, the Philadelphia Eagles, the number one seed in the NFC. Now, it's going to be down in Philadelphia. It's going to be a tough task, but the Giants are not the same team as I just said. They're going to be able to go out there and they're going to play their brand of football, and they're going to play with a level of confidence that they haven't seen, the league hasn't seen this year. Now, Philadelphia did win both games this year. And you must tip your cap to that. They did win the division, but it's playoff time. All of that doesn't mean anything. It's one and done. If you lose, your season is done. Plain and simple. And the pressure is not on the Giants. No one expected the New York Football Giants to be here this year. Maybe make the playoffs and go out quietly in the first round, especially after what transpired last year with the debacle of the Joe Judge era. But now under Coach Dable, you're seeing a different type of culture, a different type of team, a different type of play. And a lot of it is with some of the good percentage of the old players, with an influx of new players that Joe Shane goes out and gets and brings them in to fit the Giants culture. They're not always high price, high top name players. They're practice squads or guys that they're getting off the street, but they're being very effective and efficient. And that's what this team is bringing to the playoffs. Philadelphia does have to get ready for that. Now, the Giants have to get ready for Philadelphia. That is true. They are rested. They do have the talent in Brown and Smith at the receivers, Dallas Goddard, their rushing attack. Philadelphia's rushing attack always seems to give the Giants problems. Especially now with Jalen Hurts, you're now dealing with a mobile quarterback as opposed to Kirk Cousins. So the Giants have to toughen up their run game. You cannot let Philadelphia just run all over you and do whatever you want. But in the same token, offensively, the Giants now, their game, they're playing with a lot more confidence. They will have to attack the Eagles defense, and they will have to find ways of attacking them. But I have trust in I have faith in Kafka and Dable that they're going to put a very sound and efficient and effective game plan together to attack Philadelphia. So it's definitely not going to be an easy out for Philadelphia. They have all the pressure on them. They're the number one seed. They swept the New York Football Giants. No one is expected the Giants to get to the second round, and here they are. And the last game of the season, New York played nothing but backup players, and Philadelphia, for the most part, played their starters, and they barely won that game. So the Giants are going to be coming in very confident and saying, "Well, we didn't have our starters, and these guys are hungry." Saquon Barkley is playing like a grown ass man. I mean, he's going out there confident, and he's not backing down from anyone. And he's talking that talk. And Daniel Jones, like I said earlier, he's playing like a franchise quarterback. He's out there making smart and sound decisions. He's not putting the ball in harm's way, and he's inspiring this whole roster. Isaiah Hodgins is making those catches. He's showing that he deserves to be in the NFL, and he deserves to be considered a player that teams have to scout for and prepare for. Richie James is doing his thing in the slot. Darius Slayton, while he did have a critical job, he has been making plays when necessary. He just needs to fine tune the drops, get his focus together, and go out there and be that player that he can be. So again, the offensive line today played very well. They controlled it. Yes, they gave up 3 sacks, but it wasn't critical sacks, and it wasn't as if Minnesota was dominating them up front. So next week they need to go in and they need to play with the same type of ferocity, intensity, and effectiveness and efficiency. John Feliciano helping Saquon get his touchdown, giving him a little crease. Andrew Thomas, whether it was Nick Gates, Bredesen, on the other side, Glowinski, even Evan Neal, guys are really stepping in and doing what they need to do. Tight ends are helping out in the run game with their blocking. Even Kenny Golladay had a massive block, putting the defensive back on the ground to help in the run game. So you have to see that this team is definitely stepping up and showing you a different aspect to what you saw in the regular season. So this playoff New York Giants is definitely one that has to be respected. Philadelphia, yes, we do have to respect you, and we will respect you. You are the division champs. You are the conference leaders, the number 1 seed, but you have to earn it, and you have to take it from us. You have to take it from the New York Football Giants, because the New York Football Giants are coming to bring it, because they're coming to take it from you, to show you that they are deserving of being here. So just my little rant, my little ramble. You guys let me know what you think. Leave your comments there below. I'd really love to hear what you have to say. So everyone, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to just sit back and listen to my ramble, my rant. All right. Again, the New York Football Giants win in the wild card round. They defeat the Minnesota Vikings 31-24, and it's on to facing the Philadelphia Eagles down in Philadelphia, most likely on Saturday. What time, we don't know. So I hope to give you a film breakdown later in the week and talk more. Look for me on Heart of the City on Tuesday evening, and hopefully on other streams throughout the week. But thank you again. And as I say in sports, just make sure you guys turn it on and turn it up. Peace.